Tonight on Cronkite News, bringing back pre-pandemic restrictions at the border. Steps asylum seekers now have to take before they even secure an interview. Plus,
these clients are not drug addicts or criminals. They're human beings who look very similar to some of you here tonight.
A passionate debate over the plan to use a hotel to house those experiencing homelessness. The step forward the controversial plan took last night.
And this potential future Sun Devil finds a way to score big on and off the field. Good evening and welcome to Cronkite News. I'm Aaron Gonzalez.
And I'm Alex DaCosta. Thank you for joining us. The U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services is now reverting to pre-pandemic requirements. The organization is asking asylum seekers to bring their interpreter for citizenship interviews.
Cronkite News reporter Adriana Gonzalez-Chavez is in our newsroom with the state that leaves asylum seekers in.
Thousands of migrants cross several countries and risk their lives to reach the United States seeking asylum. Now, those who do not speak English face another challenge. They have to find and pay for an interpreter.
During the pandemic, U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services provided asylum seekers with translators via phone. Since September 13th, they required that they bring an interpreter to interviews if they are not fluent in English. Immigration attorney Ravinder Arora says there is a downside to this requirement.
If you can't afford an interpreter, then obviously you run into an issue there because you have to find a way to provide your own interpreter. They're simply not going to do it for you.
If migrants do not bring an interpreter to the interview or the interpreter is not fluent in English, the USCIS may consider this as a failure to appear for the interview and may dismiss the asylum application.
They are expected to gather their own documents and provide their own evidence while remaining in a jail cell. They have no access to legal counsel unless they can afford to hire an attorney.
There are several requirements for interpreters, such as being fluent in English and at least 18 years or older. Asylum seeker Jairo Umana explains that finding someone who can be available during his appointment is worrisome.
We can't just take anybody because they don't know the case. They don't know the background of immigration.
The measure requires that interpreters must not be the migrant's attorney or accredited representative, a witness testifying on the migrant's behalf, a representative or employee of the government of the migrant's country, or an individual with a pending asylum application. According to Aurora, if migrants have all the proper information and can afford it, an interpreter might be beneficial.
There could actually be an advantage to having your own interpreter in that you can vet them and make sure that they actually translate your words the way that you want them translated and that's accurate.
But Umana says that finding a translator can add a lot more difficulty to a situation that is already unfamiliar and stressful.
It's a limitation that honestly has me really worried.
For fiscal year 2023, the latest data from the Customs and Border Protection shows that more than 160 migrants crossed the Yuma sector and almost 274,000 through the Tucson sector. Mexico is the country with the most migrants coming to the United States in the southwest land border, followed by Guatemalans, Hondurans, and Salvadorians.
The only exception to this requirement is for sign language interpreters. The USCIS will provide sign language interpreters as a disability accommodation. In the newsroom, Adriana Gonzalez-Chavez, back to you.
Thanks, Adriana. This all comes at a time where crossing in our southern border are surging. Nationwide, the Department of Homeland Security says more than 8,000 people were apprehended just this week. This is video of asylum seekers in El Paso, Texas. Back here in Arizona's Pima County, officials are releasing asylum seekers onto the street. This is all because migrant shelters are full. Cochise and Santa Cruz counties are also releasing asylum seekers.
Well, more than 160,000 migrants had crossed the border into the Yuma sector as of July. According to the latest numbers from Customs and Border Protection, and local officials told Congress today that they need to keep from being overwhelmed by that surge. As Alexandria Cullen reports from our Washington bureau.
Yuma County Supervisor Jonathan Lyons told a House panel that his community wants to help the migrants who are moving in, but that they can't do it on their own, and that they need help from the federal government to keep from drowning.
Last year, fiscal year, our cost specifically related to the illegals that were detained was $1.3 million, of which I believe maybe we were reimbursed 10% or 10 cents on the dollar, I should say.
This was echoed by Joe Borelli, a New York City Council member who said his city was also grappling with an overwhelming influx of migrants.
Right now, almost every community in our city is on edge, fearing the next migrant shelter will be in their backyard, worrying about how this growing crisis will affect every aspect of life in New York.
Lyons said every aspect of life in Yuma is already being affected. Migrants need shelter and food. They sometimes need medical care, and some will call 911 for help. He says the county responds at its own cost and at the cost of services that should go to county residents. Most lawmakers agreed that the federal government should step in and help, but they disagreed on the solution.
So when you hear the ranking member on the other side say this isn't serious, this is just a dog and pony show, is there any wonder to anybody in this chamber why we can't solve this problem? They don't even think this is serious.
Democrats said local governments need help, but they also said migrant contributions to the U.S. in taxes and labor should not be overlooked. New York Congressman Dan Goldman was adamant that members of both parties can and must work together.
As we work, hopefully together, to fix our broken immigration system, because both Democrats and Republicans agree that it's broken. So let's not play political games for electoral benefit. Let's get together and find some actual solutions.
Lyons said after the hearing that he hopes lawmakers can work together like Republicans and Democrats do in his county, a model he said Congress should follow despite the squabbling today. In Washington, Alexandria Cullen, Cronkite News. Back to you, Aaron.
Arizona Senator Mark Kelly is back in the United States after an international visit to Ukraine and Poland. Kelly took the trip earlier this week, and he released these photos. While overseas, Kelly met with senior U.S. and Ukraine military leaders. The senator took the trip to understand the needs of Ukraine. He continues to advocate for American help in the embattled nation.
Meantime, a Phoenix plan to send seized gun to Ukraine was declared to violate state law. Attorney General Chris Mays made the announcement today. The announcement overturns a June City Council ordinance that would allow them to donate weapons to Ukrainian police officers. Close to 600 were expected to be shipped out. But after complaints from state representatives, the state general agreed, saying, while commendable, this is against the law. Arizona law requires unclaimed guns to be sold instead.
The Scottsdale City Council voted last night to fund housing at a local hotel for people in need. The approval gives nearly $500,000 to open temporary housing for senior citizens and families with children. Independence 47 Hotel will open 10 rooms for housing. The contract is part of the city's Bridge Housing Program, which begins on October 1st and aims to provide safe and stable living spaces to people in need. Some Scottsdale residents and politicians disapprove of the program, citing safety concerns and worries that residents will have substance use disorders. But the manager of Independence 47 Hotel said he's not concerned about the residents who stay there because he knows many of them.
These clients are not drug addicts or criminals. They're human beings who look very similar to some of you here tonight. The main difference is that they are going through some tough times and have reached out for help. These people, for the most part, have been priced out of their place of living here in town and have struggled to find a new place.
The Phoenix City Council will vote on a plan to modify what many have dubbed the zone. The roughly 5.5-acre land near 15th Avenue and Jackson Street reportedly housed 1,000 members of the unhoused community. Currently, the area is zoned an industrial district, but some leaders are trying to turn the area into a formal shelter. City documents show the proposed site would have 200 outdoor spaces, basic hygiene services, and 24/7 security. Earlier this month, a separate city planning commission recommended approval of the plan.
College rankings came out this week, and ASU is ranked #1 for innovation for the 9th straight year. But that's pretty much all Arizona schools had to show for it. In the U.S. News and World Report's annual list that ranks the universities in the U.S., none of the public Arizona schools cracked the top 100. Arizona State ranked 105th in the national ranking. The University of Arizona followed at 115th, and Northern Arizona University was ranked 249th. The rankings are designed to help students and their parents find the best schools to attend, but the rankings are often criticized.
They may not have made the top, but check this out. The Department of Defense has named an ASU facility one of 8 microelectronics hubs. ASU Southwest Advanced Prototyping Hub will aid the United States with semiconductor technology. They will receive more than $40 million from President Biden's CHIPS Act through this partnership. And when we come back tonight, a showdown on the nation's capital. The key testimony from Attorney General Merrick Garland, the reason he's defending himself.
And a new announcement by the Biden administration that looks to help our climate. Arizona Effect, the new program has. We'll be right back after this.
We tell ourselves stories as a nation.
These stories need to be highlighted, they need to be explored. We're the dreamers.
How serious is America's commitment to looking at its history? How can we learn from the past?
Douglas said, "You're going to look me in the eye and see my humanity."
It's illuminating. I'm seeing the expansiveness of my history.
It's pretty great.
There's so much richness to Black life and Black culture.
I think the story of Muslims in America is the story of America.
Tonight, they are free.
I cannot imagine how excited you must have been.
It's a wonderful feeling. This is why we do this.
It makes me even more committed to struggling for a better world.
Here at the TV Production and Graphics Lab, we are behind the scenes making the news happen. Gain experience in the control room directing, teledirecting, and rolling the audio of every Cronkite News show. Run the floor and work in a professional environment, honing your skills for the future. Create graphics that will be seen by the local community on Arizona PBS. Be a part of the bloodline that makes the Cronkite News shows possible.
ASU's one and only student-run radio station, Blaze Radio, provides students with opportunities to cover a variety of topics. From music,
this is Sun City Garage,
to sports coverage,
against the Brewers in his last outing, he went
to news.
The bill also gives parents the ability to sue.
And entertainment updates. Blaze Radio offers a fun environment to gain valuable broadcast experience. To find out more, visit blazeradioonline.com.
Welcome back. Attorney General Merrick Garland was up on the Hill in Washington today to take questions on how he handled cases over the president's son, Hunter Biden, and former President Donald Trump. Here he is. Some lawmakers say Garland used political bias in the two prominent cases. Garland has faced criticism that the Department of Justice has turned too political during his watch. During the hearing, lawmakers accused Garland of interfering investigations into whether Hunter Biden exchanged money for political favors overseas. Garland denied those claims.
Our job is to pursue justice without fear or favor. Our job is not to do what is politically convenient. Our job is not to take orders from the president, from Congress, or from anyone else about who or what to criminally investigate.
The Federal Reserve decided not to raise interest rates. The announcement came after the Reserve met today. For the second time over the past 3 meetings, the Fed kept interest rates unchanged, but the Reserve hinted that it will raise interest one more time before the end of the year. The Fed said that the country's situation is in a better spot and can use the wait-and-see approach for another month.
Meantime, gas prices continue to hurt pockets here in Arizona and nationwide. And over the next year, the price of oil is set to rise. Investment banking giant Goldman Sachs says oil could cost $100 a barrel a year from now. The bank cites Saudi Arabia's aggressive supply cuts. The hike in prices will still greatly affect drivers who are already spending record highs for 2023 at the pump.
President Biden is announcing the creation of a new group designed to protect our climate. It is called the American Climate Corp. According to a press release, the group will gain skills when it comes to protecting land, advocating for environmental justice, and developing clean energy. All people in the Corp will be paid. The goal of the program is to help Americans get access to clean jobs. The goal of the American Climate Corp is to have more than 20,000 members. With this announcement, Arizona will also create its own state climate corp.
Let's now turn to our climate here in the Valley.
Jordy Feeflat joins us now from the Cronkite Weather Center.
Taking a look at our evening planner for this Wednesday, look at those temperatures, much lower than we've seen recently. 85 degrees at 10 p.m. The Diamondbacks had their roof open last night. We'll start to see a lot more events outside as these temperatures become more and more pleasant. Taking a look at the upcoming forecast, eastern Arizona should get some light rain coming into Thursday morning, and then Tucson hoping for some rain in the late evening on Thursday. Not going to hit Phoenix this time around, unfortunately. Low temperatures, wow, such a dramatic shift. 41 degrees in Flagstaff, 38 degrees in the Grand Canyon. Fall weather has immediately come upon us without much warning. 73 degrees in Phoenix is the low as well. And those high temperatures, if you can get to the northern part of the state, some spectacular weather right now. 69 degrees in Flagstaff, 73 degrees in the Grand Canyon, and Phoenix will stay below 100, which is a trend that we've seen the last couple of days and will continue to see throughout the rest of the week. As you look at this 8-day forecast, the low temperatures, really interesting to note, below average for this time of year, and that's making those evenings really, really special and a great time to be outside once the sun goes down. And it will go back over 100 going into next week, but still a dramatic shift in terms of temperature, staying with 73 degrees on that low, and that's really what's interesting to note. Once the sun goes down, it's a lot easier to hang out in. From the Cronkite Weather Center, I'm Jordy Fee-Platt.
Thank you very much, Jordy. Ryan Bennell joins us now with a look at sports. Ryan, what do you have?
Hey guys, coming up, I'll have your Cronkite Sports Report. The Arizona Coyotes left the Valley for Australia this week. We'll have what brings the Arizona hockey team south of the equator when we return.
Find out what's on Arizona PBS at azpbs.org/schedule.
Cronkite News provides students at ASU's Walter Cronkite School of Journalism with the opportunity to gain real-world experience in the newsroom. At Cronkite News, our students produce professional content for audiences by taking on all roles, whether they be reporting, anchoring, producing, or studio production. Each department gives students first-hand professional newsroom experience. For more information, visit cronkitenews.azpbs.org.
ASU's one and only student-run radio station, Blaze Radio, provides students with opportunities to cover a variety of topics. From music,
This is Sun City Garage,
to sports coverage,
Against the Brewers in his last outing, he went
to news,
The bill also gives parents the ability to sue.
and entertainment updates. Blaze Radio offers a fun environment to gain valuable broadcast experience. To find out more, visit blazeradioonline.com.
Welcome to the Cronkite Sports Report. I'm Ryan Bennell. The Diamondbacks are slithering closer to the postseason, but their playoff hopes aren't entirely in their hands. Despite Arizona winning its last 5 games, the margin between teams battling for the second and third wildcard spots is very thin. The Snakes have just 9 games left this season, and they hit the road now for 6 of them. 3 of those in New York against the Yankees. They stop in Chicago for a tilt against the White Sox before ending the season at home against the Houston Astros. 15-year veteran Evan Longoria knows the pressure of the playoff hunt very well. Says the D-backs just need to do one simple thing.
Play well. I mean, there's no secret, you know. It's like, obviously we try to stay as relaxed as we can, show up at the ballpark every day prepared to win and prepared to do whatever it takes to win. And, you know, at this point of the year, there's, you know, we've done all the work. We've put it all, we've you know, kind of, what do they say, put all the hay in the barn. It's like, you know, you just got to show up and play hard and do everything you've been doing all year and expect to win games.
After 15 and a half hours and 8,000 miles on charter flights, the Arizona Coyotes have finally touched down in Melbourne with the hopes of growing the game of hockey in Australia. The city is promoting the 2023 NHL Global Series Melbourne, a 2-game preseason series between the Coyotes and the Los Angeles Kings. It will take place at Rod Laver Arena on Saturday and Sunday. It's a big adjustment for players who have never been on this side of the world, but definitely a rewarding experience for the team.
Yeah, you know, I feel pretty good. I think we did a good job kind of managing the flight, and we had sleep doctor scientists come in and speak to us, and he got us all the knowledge that we needed.
ASU opens Pac-12 play this weekend against USC at Mountain America Stadium. The home crowd will certainly help as Kenny Dillingham's squad faces a formidable opponent in the 5th-ranked Trojans. Clearly, the Sun Devils are underdogs in this one. But don't tell that to Dillingham, who fired up his team today at practice. The first-year head coach told the team they need to approach every game with the mindset that they will win. If they don't believe that, then don't bother showing up on Saturday. The pep talk comes as the team is still yet to announce a starting quarterback. There's an equal amount of pressure on the Sun Devil defense, who will try to stop USC's signal caller and Heisman Trophy winner Caleb Williams.
The goal should be to limit him, limit the explosive plays. Don't let him get comfortable and in a rhythm, right? Don't bust and give them open people for him to get in a rhythm. But to say you're going to stop, right, Caleb Williams, that's tough to do.
Last year, Horizon senior kicker Canyon Floyd went viral on social media after nailing a 70-yard field goal in practice. Now he is committed to Arizona State and finding another avenue to show that hard work does in fact pay off. Cronkite News reporter Danny Stepanovich spoke with him to see how he's bringing his football mentality to his own business.
Green is always on the mind of Horizon High School senior kicker Canyon Floyd. If he's not repping the Huskies green on the field, he spends his weekends and the offseason stacking his own green with his teammate and younger brother, junior kicker Riker Floyd. The two started a door-to-door window washing business, I Need Dollar Window Washing, over this past summer.
Originally, we would go knock doors for like a couple hours, as many sales as we get. We'd say, we're going to come back tomorrow morning and do them. And then we'd just bang it out. We'd be done before like 9, 10 o'clock. We'd have like $200 a person.
The inspiration behind the business originated after junior long snapper Mac Mulhern told Floyd he started window washing for some extra cash on the side.
The next day, I was telling Canyon about how I made like $400 in a day. And then 2 days later, he has his own window washing business. Now we're competitors. He started making more money with him. I mean, it really pissed me off. So and now we really bash heads when it comes to window cleaning.
The Floyds turned a $50 investment into over $3,000 of profit in just one summer, cleaning windows. Their next goal is to hit $10,000. Floyd accepted an offer from Arizona State last spring after receiving offers from Navy, Air Force, and Army. The three-star recruit is part of what Horizon Special Teams coach Simon Laurier believes is the best unit in the state.
And so when you have a player that can also kick, it really just enhances your special teams unit tenfold. And not to mention, he's a punter, right? But he can do all three things. And arguably, his field goals and his kickoffs might be better than his punts.
Last year, Floyd earned all-state punting honors, and heading into his final season for the Huskies, he's determined to achieve all-state punter and kicker. In Scottsdale, Danny Stepanovich, Cronkite News.
That's it for your Cronkite Sports Report. Alex and Aaron, back to you.
Thank you, Ryan. And coming up next, a public service announcement with a beat.
We'll listen to the new album that's making more headlines than airwaves.
ASU's one and only student-run radio station, Blaze Radio, provides students with opportunities to cover a variety of topics. From music,
This is Sun City Garage,
to sports coverage,
Against the Brewers in his last outing, he went
to news,
The bill also gives parents the ability to sue.
and entertainment updates. Blaze Radio offers a fun environment to gain valuable broadcast experience. To find out more, visit blazeradioonline.com.
The Walter Cronkite School of Journalism and Mass Communications Phoenix Sports Bureau provides students with hands-on learning experiences and opportunities in sports journalism. From covering local high schools, colleges, and the pros, students get the opportunity to go live from our Facebook shows covering local, collegiate, and pro sports in the Valley. From digital reporting, broadcast, social media, and producing, there's opportunities for all. For more, go to cronkitenews.azpbs.org.
This is CN to Go. I'm Emily Olson with your Wednesday news briefing.
Do you want to create innovative content for Cronkite News? Do you enjoy listening to podcasts? Then CN to Go is for you. Cronkite News to Go is a podcast where students cover the latest headlines. Students become audio producers and hosts and will learn how to write, record, and edit stories. You can listen to the latest episodes on these platforms.
Did you know newsrooms today are looking for bilingual journalists? Cronkite Noticias prepares you to cover diverse communities. In Cronkite Noticias, you will obtain an unforgettable experience.
Nopales como este van a tumbar.
Cronkite Noticias.
And develop your skills with the latest technology.
Thanks to the people at CPSC.
First things first, let me tell you what the issue is. When you in the streets, gotta stay vigilant. Check the stats, there's been way too many injured heads. From right without.
Those fresh beats aren't your typical Billboard Top 100s, and you can't find the artist CPSC on Apple Music or Spotify just yet. For now, you'll have to download the tunes off their government website.
That's right. A federal agency, the Consumer Product Safety Commission, just dropped an album. The CPSC released We're Safety Now, Haven't We? Early this morning, the album consists of 6 songs, 7 if you count one with the Spanish version, that are filled with safety messages directed towards teens and young adults. Messages range from remembering to wear a helmet and replacing fire alarm batteries. The songs can be downloaded off of the Safety Commission's website and are uploaded to its YouTube channel. And that's it for Cronkite News. Thank you for joining us.
And for top Arizona stories anytime, log on to cronkitenews.azpbs.org. And before we go, enjoy some more music from the CPSC.
Right now, you're stuck in my mind.